Hi. So in this video, we're going to talk about Rubrics. Rubrics is a brand new thing to Google Classroom. I think they've just taken it out of beta and it has just shown up in our world. So Rubrics are kind of cool. They've made a lot of changes to them from the beta. We're going to show you how to do that. So Rubrics are fairly easy. You just go to create, and when you start making an assignment, you will notice that it now shows up on this side over here, and that this whole screen looks a little bit different. So the first thing you need to do is type in a title. It will not let you do a rubric unless you have a title in there. And then if you want to, you add instructions. These are always nice if you have a parent in here that would like to know what's going on in your class. And then you just add whatever you want to add to your Google Classroom. So I just have this cute little document that I'm going to add. Remember, if you want all students to be working on it, then you make a copy for each student. Remember, you can assign it to multiple classes at a time if you want to, or you can assign it to specific students at a time. You can have no due date or a due date, and don't forget about topic. So I'm going to stick this one under fun test. So the cool thing about Rubric is you click Rubric and you can either create a rubric or reuse a rubric. If you haven't created a rubric before, it will only have create. But once you create one, then you can actually say like reuse one and it'll bring up rubrics. But I don't have one for this course right now. I can steal rubrics from other classes too. So I am going to go ahead and click out of this because, oh, it's not going to let me click out of this. There we go. And then I'm going to create a rubric. So the rubric I'm going to create, I'm going to use it for scoring, or you can turn scoring off, not a big deal. But I'm going to go ahead and use scoring. You can set the points in descending order or ascending order. It is totally up to you. So your criterion title, this is actually like what your rubric is about. So for instance, if mine was about writing, I could do that, and I could have one rubric for the whole entire writing thing. So I could give a course description or not. So my least amount point value is 1, or I can change it. I'm going to crank it up to 4. The level title, so this would be like mastery. And then the description, this is where you would put in what happens here. So this could be gives multiple examples of theme or something like that. Okay, and then you just add the next one. So this one would be 3. Oops. So you can go backwards as you just saw. So this is proficient, and then this would be, you know, I just going to give an example, and this would be 2, and this would be making progress, and give a description here, and then I would have my 1s, and this is needs support, and my description here, and then of course I have my 0, and that is, oh sorry, you can't have 2 1s, and this is no evidence. Okay, alright, and then I just do this, and then I come up here and I hit save. Okay, now it sits down here, rubric 1 criterion, 4 points. You can add other criterion. So if you have multiple things that you're grading on your rubric, so if your rubric has multiple things that you're grading on, you can add multiple criteria in there. Super easy, you just add another criterion down below. So when I assign this to my class, then my kiddos will have something that looks like this in just a second, because it's taken a little while to assign it. Okay, so it finally assigned the thing. So this is what it looks like on the teacher's point of view. Okay, so I have 4 assigned, 0 turned in. I actually have my rubric sitting right here, and here's my assignment. This is what it looks like on the student point of view. So I will go back to my classwork, and I will have to hit refresh. And here's my testing. So if I click on this, it shows me my rubric. So as a student, I can look on this and see all the stuff that I need to see. Once I have done what I need to do on this, and I hit turn it in, okay, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to turn it in? Yep, I do. Okay, so I have turned it in. It sits over here on their side, and I go back on my teacher side, and I hit refresh, and it should pop in that one person has turned it in when I click on Fun Testing. So I can actually click on this, and 3A turned it in. I can click on this, and I can look at their work. I can still give comments like I normally would, or I can grade this. And I can grade this with the rubric. So if I go in here and I say, oh, they did excellent on this, do that, it gives them a 4. If I change my points up here to 4, it would still say 4 out of 4. So remember to do that. Don't leave it 100. And then I just go ahead and hit return. And the student on the other side will get that back with their grade and the rubric, and it'll show them exactly what they did. So on the student side, it should look like this when it comes back. And it says, I got 4 out of 4. Here's my criteria. I mastered it. So that's what it looks like on the student side. So it's a really cool way for you to incorporate rubrics into that you're already using, so now the students can see them at all times. If I wanted to, I can flip through all students. 3B hasn't turned it in yet. So I don't want to do their particular, I don't want to grade them yet because they haven't turned it in yet. So if I go back to my testing class, I can see all of those things, and I've graded one and returned it. So that is how you use rubrics in Google Classroom. If you have any questions, just give me a call.